She didn't say much. In fact, most days, she didn't speak at all. She walked with a limp that made people stare. But when she looked at you, you felt it. Like somehow, she saw right through all the noise. Her name was Emma. 9 years old. And the summer she was sent to live with a father she barely knew, nobody expected anything from her. Not even her. But that was before she met Blaze. A snarling, growling, feared creature that everyone wanted gone. And somehow, without a single word, she did what grown men, expert trainers, and even her own father couldn't. She reached him. This isn't just a story about a girl and a dog. It's about what happens when the world finally stops shouting, and listens. Emma lived with her mom in a small, quiet apartment on the edge of town. She never really talked about her dad, and honestly, she barely remembered him. They used to live together, before things got hard. Before the arguments. Before he left. So when her mom said, "You're going to spend the summer with your father," Emma didn't ask questions. She just packed a small bag, held her stuffed bear tight, and got in the car. The camp wasn't what she expected. It wasn't really for kids. It wasn't warm. Or welcoming. It was dusty. Loud. Full of barking dogs and shouting men. Her father ran a dog training facility, big, rough, and serious. He didn't even hug her when she arrived. Just nodded. "Put your bag in the bunkhouse," he said. Emma did what she always did, she stayed quiet. But deep down, a question sat heavy in her chest. Why am I here? The camp was nothing like home. It smelled like wet fur, metal gates, and dust. Dogs barked constantly, sharp, angry sounds that echoed across the grounds. Trainers yelled commands, clapped their hands, blew whistles. It was a place built on control. Emma kept her head down. She ate alone. She walked slowly, her limp more noticeable among all the fast, confident footsteps. Her father was always busy, talking to clients, correcting dogs, giving orders. He wasn't mean. But he wasn't soft, either. Emma could feel the space between them, like a locked door no one had the key for. The other trainers didn't know what to do with a kid around. She wasn't loud. She didn't ask questions. She just watched. Quietly. Some of them whispered about her. "She's weird. Poor thing barely speaks. She'll never last the summer." But Emma wasn't watching the people. She was watching one dog. A dark, hulking shape kept at the far edge of the camp. A dog no one dared get close to. Blaze. Blaze didn't bark like the others. He roared. Deep, bone-shaking growls that made even the toughest trainers pause. He was massive, muscles tight, eyes always watching. Scar across his muzzle. Chain on his collar. They kept him separate, in his own enclosure at the far end of the field. "He's a danger," they said. "Totally untrainable. Something's wrong with that dog." Trainers tried to work with him. But Blaze lunged at the fence. Snapped at hands. He tore through 2 leashes. Bent a steel gate. No one trusted him. Some were even afraid to walk past his pen. Emma didn't say a word about Blaze. But she started sitting near his enclosure. Just close enough for him to see her. Far enough not to be noticed. She didn't flinch when he growled. She didn't move when he paced. She just sat. And slowly, Blaze began to sit too. No barking. No commands. Just silence. 2 beings the world had labeled as too much trouble. Noticing each other. Every day after breakfast, Emma returned to Blaze's pen. No one told her to. No one even noticed at first. She'd sit cross-legged in the dirt, just outside the fence. Her eyes calm, her hands still. At first, Blaze stayed on the far side. Pacing. Growling low. But Emma didn't move. Didn't speak. Didn't judge. Something about her silence was different. Not afraid. Not trying to fix him. Just there. After a week, he started lying down when she came. After 2, he began inching closer. She never reached through the fence. She didn't need to. One morning, she brought a piece of bread from her pocket, soft and torn by hand. She didn't toss it. She placed it gently near the fence, then waited. Blaze sniffed. Paused. Took it. From that day on, he waited for her. Even when the trainers passed, even when other dogs barked. His eyes scanned the field until she appeared. No leash. No command. Just connection. 2 quiet souls. Misunderstood. Misjudged. Seen, finally, by each other. It didn't stay a secret for long. One of the trainers saw her sitting by Blaze's pen. Then another noticed the bread in her hand. Whispers turned to warnings. Hey, don't go near that one. He's not safe, kid. You're gonna get hurt. Her father heard about it too. He called her over one evening, voice low but sharp. Emma. That dog isn't your friend. He's unpredictable. He's dangerous. Stay away from him. That's not a request. Emma didn't answer. She just looked down, nodded, and walked away. But the next morning, she was back by the fence. Because she knew something they didn't. Blaze wasn't mean. He was scared. Confused. Alone. Just like her. Then came the news. The decision had been made. Blaze was going to be removed. Transferred to a facility that handled problem cases. Everyone knew what that really meant. Emma heard them say it. He's too far gone. No one can reach him. It's time. She didn't argue. She didn't cry. But that night, she sat by Blaze's pen longer than usual. And in the quiet, she made a decision. It happened on a Thursday. Midday sun, too hot, too loud. A new dog panicked during training, barked, pulled, broke loose. Another barked back. Leashes tangled. Trainers shouted. In the chaos, someone left Blaze's gate unlatched. The chain hit the ground with a sharp clang. Heads turned. Blaze was out. Trainers froze. One reached for the stun collar remote. Another grabbed a catch pole. Voices barked over each other. Stop him. Don't run. Get back. But Blaze wasn't attacking. He was confused. Snarling, yes, but cornered, eyes darting, chest heaving like a wild heartbeat. And then, Emma stepped forward. Limping. Alone. No rope. No treats. No plan. Just her. The trainers yelled, trying to pull her back. But she kept walking. One slow, uneven step at a time. Blaze saw her. He stopped moving. The growling faded. His ears dropped. His tail lowered. She didn't speak. She didn't flinch. She simply stood there, and looked at him. In a world full of shouting, she gave him silence. And somehow, he chose to listen. The yard was silent. No one dared move. Even the dog seemed to sense it, how something different was happening. Emma stood still. Her limp, her silence, her softness, none of it looked like power. But Blaze saw her, and he chose her. Slowly, cautiously, he stepped toward her. Not with anger. Not with fear. But with something else. Recognition. The trainers stood frozen, stunned. Her father stood too, arms at his sides, speechless. Emma raised her hand, not to command, but to offer. Palm open. No threat. No demand. And Blaze leaned in. A soft nudge of his nose into her hand. 1 second. 2. She closed her eyes and exhaled. So did he. In that moment, there were no leashes. No shouting. No control. Just trust. Something every trainer on that field had tried to force. She gave freely. Not by overpowering him. Not by outsmarting him. But by listening, when no one else had. Blaze didn't have to be removed after that. They changed their minds. No one said it out loud, but everyone knew why. After that day, the trainers started watching Emma differently. Not like she was fragile or strange. But like she had something they didn't understand. Blaze became calmer. Still guarded, still strong. But no longer feared. He followed Emma's movements. Ate from her hand. Laid at her feet. And her father changed too. He started asking how she was sleeping. Brought her hot cocoa in the evenings. Sat next to her one night in silence, and said softly, "You did something none of us could." Emma didn't answer. She just nodded, and for the first time. She leaned her head against his shoulder. It wasn't perfect. There were still hard days, still silence, still space between them. But the door that had been locked for so long was now cracked open. All because one girl refused to shout. And one dog chose to listen. Emma didn't need to say a single word to change everything. She didn't lead with power, or skill, or force. She led with presence. With patience. With something so many people forget to give, gentle attention. In a world that trains us to be louder. Stronger. Tougher. She reminded everyone that sometimes, the quietest voice carries the most weight. Blaze wasn't a monster. He was misunderstood. And the girl everyone overlooked? She was exactly what he needed. Not to fix him. Not to control him. But to see him. And in doing so, she helped others see themselves more clearly too. Sometimes, the strongest connection doesn't need words. And sometimes, the one who listens is the one who leads.